center of cinema is not just Bollywood. I'm just hoping that since Supreme Court is now questioning the sedition thing, that it really takes a stand, because it's the most unfortunate thing to see young activists, journalists, students for months and months, some years, like Omar Khaled, lying in prison. I will not ask any actor about their sexuality, because in an industry where there's so much of discrimination in a country, that you cannot force someone. I was a little worried about coming, because Kerala is very progressive, and also there is a very conservative side to it, so it has two extremes. Actually, there are these three Ks have a lot of connection, and three Ks are kind of close to me in different ways. One is Kerala, one is Kolkata, and one is Kashmir. You can't speak against the government, you can't speak against the you can't be critical. Forget about being, you can't be critical about that, you can't be critical about ministers. So then what is cinema?
Bollywood സംവിധായകൻ ഒനീറാണ് ഇന്നത്തെ ക്യൂവിനൊപ്പം. വെൽക്കം സർ.
Thank you.
So you're shooting for your movie Pinecone here. So why did you choose the location?
Cochin. I had seen this film called Kumbalangi Nights.
Okay.
And I thought it was like so beautiful that I think in 2019 I came here. My niece wanted me to take her for a holiday.
Okay.
And I came with her to stay in Kumbalinga, and then also of course explore Kochi and Alapi, and I just think it was even more beautiful than the film, and I felt like, okay, I want to do something here. That was the point after coming, that I felt I wanted to shoot. And when I was working on the script of Pinecone, originally this part of the story was actually set in Kolkata. But having come to Kochi, that desire to work was immense. And over the recent years also, I've made some friends who are actors from Kochi, and who have been kind of helpful in making it possible for me, connecting me to the right people, so that I could come here and shoot.
Okay. So this is a story about a queer character, right? The lead is a queer character, and you choose a queer person to do the role. So it is like, it's not, I have talked to so many people, and when in film, even in Malayalam movies, queer people complain about that. If it is a queer character, they are not casting for that. So why did you took that decision?
One of the things I feel that uh, happens in Hindi cinema all the time, or most Indian films, let me say, is misrepresentation. And very often queer characters, I mean, it's not easy always to find a queer character who is out and proud, and also is a good actor. It's not easy. But I feel that one at least needs to make the attempt to start looking, at least, because you can find. And this whole process for me started when I was casting for my film We Are, where I decided that I would cast a real trans woman for the role of a trans woman, to cast real drag queens for the role of drag queens. And I found out while auditioning for that film that many more people were willing to be open about their identity and audition. Because I was also not very comfortable at the idea that if I put an announcement saying I will only cast queer people, that it's not fair, because as an actor you should be able to do all kinds of role, and I don't want to do reverse discrimination. But I consciously, when I was working on Pinecone, I really wanted the character of Sid, which is the main lead. It would make me happy, that if I could have a queer character, and I was consciously looking for it while we were auditioning. And it was very fortunate that finally, because it wasn't easy again. I think we auditioned for nearly 4 months.
Okay.
4 months. And then finally, I saw the audition of Vidur, and I was at that point I was not aware that he's queer, because I will not ask any
Yeah.
actor about their sexuality, because in an industry where there's so much of discrimination in a country, there you
Yeah.
cannot force someone
Someone.
to be in a position to be out and open. Also because they might get stereotyped, they
Yeah.
might not be accepted by the industry as capable of doing other roles. And after I liked his audition, while we were chatting, he told me, by the way, I'm out and proud, open. And it was such a beautiful moment to discover someone who is out and proud, whom I had chosen for the role not because of his sexual
Yeah.
identity, but
Because
because
he's a
of his
good
talent.
actor. Yeah.
And it was just the perfect combination.
Okay. So, what can you tell us about the story right now? Is it related to Kerala? Oh,
It's it's not really related to
related.
Kerala. It's about the life of this person who is a filmmaker.
Okay.
He's an out and proud filmmaker called Sid. His name is Sid, which is the role that Vidur plays, and we see him navigate through life, different
Phases of life.
phases of his life, dealing with his identity. So
Yeah.
it's the film starts when the film is it's set in Gangtok, in
Okay.
Sikkim, where he's 18, and dealing with accepting his own identity. When the
Okay.
film, and that part of the film is set in 1999,
Okay.
when the first gay pride happened in Kolkata.
Mm.
And then we go 10 years later to 2009 in Bombay, when Sid is on the process of becoming a filmmaker. He's working in the film industry, writing his script and trying to have his identity, at the same time exploring his sexual identity without any fear. It's
Yeah.
just living it all through, internet dating and all those things that, people do at that age. And it's also the time when Delhi High Court decriminalized homosexuality, 2009.
Right.
And then it moves to 2019 in
Yeah.
Kochi, which is 1 year after the Supreme Court verdict, that he's an out and proud filmmaker who's come for an event of meet and greet and talking to the queer community at an event in Kochi.
Okay.
And for me, I was really, really fortunate that I could get Sheetal Sharma, transgender. While casting, I thought, why not have a queer person to be the moderator, and to have, I was very fortunate. Through her we got through her we got queer activists and just queer people to
Yeah.
come and be a part of the audience.
Yeah.
And for me that was empowering. And what really touched me, and I feel that's the power of films, that one of my assistant, she was talking to the line producer from here, Sohal, and he was just, they were returning from the shoot, and he was
Yeah.
driving, and he had read the script,
Okay.
because initially, I was a little worried about coming, because Kerala is very, very progressive, and also there is a very conservative
Yes.
side
Yes.
to it. So it has two extremes. Just like I think the films here, which are like, you have one of the best cinemas in India, and then you'll have the
Yeah.
usual thing. He started talking to my assistant, describing that this film, it's a little like before sunset, before sunrise, and it's just that there it was a man and a woman, and here it's two men, and it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And for me, that meant something,
much,
that
like, yeah.
someone who is. And I noticed here that while we were working, be it when we were shooting the scene where Sid is talking, so there were also junior artists and
Yeah.
real queer people.
Okay.
No one seemed to be bothered. It was just like any regular shoot. No one was giggling, no was. And I thought that was really, really nice. So that was a good experience, having come here, and to also get the kind of support, be it in terms of locations, like shooting at places like Kashi Cafe,
Cafe,
or David Hall, which are actually
Yeah.
very expensive locations. But when I went and met the owners, be it Dominic or Edgar, they went out of their way, say that you just come and shoot, and not charging me, and just giving all the assistance, because they said, no, we want to support the film.
Yeah.
So that feels good, because it's not that everybody knows me here, not that I've shot here a lot, but still being made so welcome. And apart from it, what's something that I constantly looking forward to whenever I am in Kochi is the food.
Okay. So you are from Kolkata, right? So
Yes, I'm
I,
actually not from Kolkata. I'm born and brought
born in
up in
Bhutan.
Bhutan, though
Yeah.
I'm Bengali. Yeah.
Yeah. But so there is a connection between,
There is
Kerala
a
food and
huge
Kolkata food.
connection between, actually there are this three Ks have a lot of connection, and three Ks are kind of close to me in different ways. One is Kerala, one is Kolkata, and one is Kashmir.
Okay. Yeah.
All three are rice eaters, all
Yes.
three are non-vegetarians. Of course, one good thing about Kerala is the amazing beef out here.
Yeah.
And I think also this whole thing of, like right from the beginning when I've been working, like my sound record is for all my films is Arun Nambiar, who is from
Kerala.
Kerala, and I feel that a lot of people from, Kerala and Bengal, whether one likes it or not, it sounds, you know has been at the beginning the centers of some of the best films
Yes.
that India's ever had. And now especially I feel that, with OTT there's of course much more exposure, but over the last few years the kind of films that is coming out of Malayalam cinema is so beautiful. Like be it Great Indian Kitchen, or
Yeah.
Near 2, or be it what is that film which is an adaptation of Hamlet?
Joji.
Yeah, Joji with I think Fahad
Fast
Fasi
Fasal,
and
yeah.
Numisha. They're such wonderful filmmakers. So I think there's a lot of uh, beautiful cinema coming out of Kerala,
Kerala.
which people all over, those
Yeah.
barriers of language,
Language.
no one cares because you're watching it with subtitles.
Yes.
And not just in on platforms, but
Yeah, but
also
also
in the
in
cinemas.
cinema theaters
And
also,
I
yeah.
think that is beautiful because it is beautiful cinema which more and more people need to see and realize that the center of cinema is not just Bollywood, but
Yeah.
films from all over the country are precious and as beautiful, if not better.
So I just want to ask you about your anthology VR. Actually, you got national award for best Hindi film for the first part of I. It was I Am, and VR is a sequel of that movie,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So, but it got delayed and
yeah,
postponed because of some issue
yeah.
happened. You wanted to tell the story of a gay soldier, but the Defense Ministry rejected your script. So, what is your whole take on, today's India? There is a lot of issues related
Yeah.
to
One
even
is this Pinecone is actually almost like a film out of anger and frustration,
yeah,
that if you want to stop me, I'll find ways to tell my
tell my
story.
story.
And I find that it's really, really sad that the film that I was doing, and
Hmm.
this story of an army
Army.
officer, was which inspired me, is based on reality,
Reality,
which
yeah.
is in public domain.
Yes.
So how can you stop me telling a story which
Story,
is
which is
already in
already out
public?
there, yeah.
And I find it very discriminatory, very dangerous, and not healthy for a democracy. And what is alarming is that increasingly this is happening in every sphere.
Yes.
As a democracy, you are supposed to oppose,
Yes.
you know, you are supposed to question, you are, you know, you're not supposed to be a yes minister, yes sir thing. But suddenly we are in an atmosphere where we're increasingly seeing journalists being arrested
Yes.
for important stories that they're going to cover.
Cover.
And for months and months, when suppose the FIR is quashed by the court, then suddenly a sedition law is passed
Yeah.
for which there is no bail.
Yes.
And I'm just hoping that since Supreme Court is now questioning the sedition thing, that it really, really takes a stand, because it's the most unfortunate thing to see young activists, journalists,
Yes.
students for months and months, some years, like Omar Khaled, lying in prison without. We are a democracy. It's okay to oppose. It's okay to have a difference. But to muffle voices of dissent It's not healthy for democracy. We can have difference of opinions, and I feel that it is happening in cinema because you have increasingly laws that, for example, this whole thing is new, that if
Yes.
you have to make any film where you portray anything to the about the
About
army,
the
that
army.
you have to get an NOC from the army. Why? Why is there a film certification board? They should be qualified to
Yes.
certify the film. So you can't speak against the government, you can't speak against the you can't be critical. Forget about being, you
You
can't be
can't be
critical
critical.
about that, you can't be critical about ministers. So then what is cinema? Cinema was always meant, good cinema is meant to question, and art is meant to question, and so we put the system under check by questioning. And if you
Yes.
don't allow that to an artist, you're killing art, you're killing democracy, you're killing human rights.
Especially with the homosexuality is actually decriminalized in India. But, when it comes to this particular government, we see there is like an attack on them or something like that. It is forcefully done. Or
Yeah, I
maybe
mean,
this,
right now, even if you must have been seeing how they're dealing with the marriage rights.
yeah,
Right now that's been constantly said that, oh, it's not a part of our culture.
yes,
you know and I'm like, one, culture has to evolve. Human
yeah,
rights is more important than anything else. Secondly, if you really go back, what is our is a mix of various religion,
yes,
including atheism, including tribals who
yes,
don't follow under. So why should there be this one homogeneous law? One,
yeah,
two, even under the Hindu, if you really go back, it's about how one interprets, because it clearly says that marriage is between souls, two
two
souls,
souls,
right?
yeah,
And it doesn't matter. And this is there in our history, in our literature, in our paintings, in our
yeah, it is
sculpture. In South, everyone is aware of how revered and loved is Lord Ayappa.
Mm.
you know
Yes.
so what are we talking about? So I feel there is this denial, which comes from a very, very narrow perception of history and culture and religion, which is constantly trying to wield power over minorities, be it women, be it the LGBT
Yeah.
community, and other minorities.
Yes. Okay, so now I just want to ask a simple question. You're actually casting Nimisha Sajan in VR. So she's an excellent actor. She's
I
one of the best actors that we have. So,
Nimisha is not just a beautiful actor, she's a beautiful person. One
okay.
of the nicest persons I have interacted with. We used to do this online workshops, and
Yeah.
I'm looking forward. I mean, like, since we are talking about UR, I have not given up. I'm going to start this film in the next 3 months, and I have found ways how I'll do it. I'll tell my story. I don't accept defeat,
Yeah.
and I'm looking forward because there's so many beautiful actors, including Nimisha, who will be playing a lesbian character in my
Oh,
film. And when we were doing online workshop, because that was during the COVID time that we were
yeah.
actually talking, the bond that and the love and warmth that I felt from a person whom I've not even met in real
Yeah.
life, that I just feel that she's a friend. And then I've been looking at her work, the beautiful paintings and sculpture,
Yeah.
painting the
Yeah.
sketches that she does, that it she's so much of an artist, that beauty comes from everything that she does.
So thank you so much, sir. Thank you for
Thank you.
your time. It
Thank
was
you.
a nice talk.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
All the best, by the way.
Thank you.